All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. So far I've done 3 of these beginning HTML, HTML5 videos, and I've covered all of the material that you see in gray right here. What I'd like to do in this particular example is to go in and go through links, HTML entities, and iframes. So for links, I've already written a little bit of code, but let's bring it back up. Couple things about links, just so you know. All right. Here are typical kinds of links that you'll put in. Okay. Link, visited, hover, and active. All right. And they really and truly should be put in this order. All right. So the link should be first, and that's what color the link will naturally have. Visited is after you've already clicked it. Hover is when you put your mouse over it, and active is when you are clicking on it. Okay, I don't really like black here for a color. I'm trying to think of a good color to put in here. Green. Don't think I've used green before. Good. So I've just put in here, tried to go out to a site I know I haven't gone to before. So I said, click the link to go to the State of Missouri website. I think it's all in there, correct? So let's run this. Don't know why that's blue. Notice when I put my mouse over it like that. Okay, you can see when I put the mouse over it, that means I'm hovering on it. And according to this, when I hovered on it, I wanted it to be red. And that's what it is. When I click it, you see how it turns yellow. All right. So that was when it was active, it turned yellow. Now, when I have visited, is it going to be pink when I go back and take a look at it now? I don't know. It is. So the only one that doesn't appear to be working right now is link. I know that I'm setting it up correctly, and I'm not sure what the problem is. All right. The other thing that people oftentimes like to do when they're working with this, and you've seen it before, I can put it in all of these. Whoops. So let's put it right here. I think I can just put it under A, but we'll find out. And that is text decoration none. People sometimes like to put that in there because then they get rid of the underlines. So let's go look one more time. And it's still in there. Huh. Let's try to put this in just under the regular link. And we'll remove this. Well, I'm having a lot of luck. Unfortunately, none of it's good luck. Although that is working. When I'm hovering, when I click, that is working. But I'm still getting the underline when it's showing, and I'm not sure why that is. There should be no problem with the text decoration, none. I don't know. Again, hover must come after link, and visited, so hover should come third, and active must come after hover. Otherwise, they're not going to make any sense to the system if you don't put them in that order. All right, so that wasn't great, but that's the first one I wanted to talk about in here. HTML entities. I want to show you quickly a couple sites. The first one is right here, and a little big, but it does the job. And this is the site. I'm going to blow it up a little bit in just a second. All right, so that's it. https://dev.w3.org/html5/html-author/charref. And this has got all of the different things that you can put in there. All right, and you'll notice that there's quite a few of them, including things and characters and stuff in different languages. All right, now the ones that are used most often are shown right here. And this is under the W3 School site, so I wanted to bring that one up. Okay, and when we look at what's there, these are the ones that are probably used the most often. All right, so let's grab all of them and let's use them. Notice too, when you use them, you can use either the entity name, which is what I'd recommend, or you can use the entity number, which is a little harder. It's not that that's wrong to do that. It's just a little harder to remember what the numbers are, as opposed to typically what the symbols are. So I'm going to copy that. I can now comment this out. All right, I can comment this out now. There's a little bit that I just put in here. So I'll move that down in just a minute, and I'm going to put that in here. So, all right, so here's a bunch of them. So let's assume for a second, and I'm going to comment this whole section out that I've just got in here. Okay? All right, so let's assume, we'll take it from the top, that I want to put down a paragraph that says my favorite HTML or new HTML5, it's not even 5, tag is the strong tag. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there just like that. And I'm going to run them. My new favorite HTML tag is the tag. What happened there? Well, what happened was the system came in and saw strong, and it said, oh, well, that's the beginning of the strong tag. If I want the less than and the greater than signs to show in there, I can just put them in as HTML character entities, ampersand LT, semicolon, ampersand GT, semicolon. And notice that by doing that, my favorite new tag is the strong tag, which is what I wanted from the get-go. All right, so that's the less than and the greater than. Now, I did find that typically the next tag, the ampersand, typically seems to work without it. Okay, so in other words, if I come through here and I say, I like going to the Barnes and Noble bookstore. Okay. You'll notice it worked. There wasn't a problem with it, but what is recommended is instead of that, you do the ampersand AMP, and you do it like that. Doesn't look any different. Still acts the same way. All right, so that's the amp. Let's look at the single and double quote. If I come through here and I say something like the double quote mark looks like this. And I only want one of them. Period. And I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to say the single quote mark looks like this. All right, so I put those two in there like that. And it worked. But there can be times when you're working with this that you're going to get results that you don't expect. So if literally I want to refer to that, I should say ampersand quote. And for the other one, I should say ampersand APOS for apostrophe. That's what I should do. All right, it should look exactly the same when I run this. And you see that, that one did. This one didn't. I think it's because I left the semicolon off the end. It's what I did. In fact, I left it off here too. So there should be a semicolon here and here. So let's look again. And you notice that they worked. Okay. Couple more. Notice the cent and the pound. Now, I could say something like, he got that on sale for 99 cents. That'll work just fine. Not a problem. You'll notice if I run it, got it on sale for that. But if I want to use the cents sign, I can use, and I won't put any space in there whatsoever, ampersand cent. Now notice when I run it, he got it on sale for 99 cents. Again, these entities are just, they're shortcuts for things that you would quite often use. Let's see. How many euros in a dollar? And it's 0.92. So, let me hit enter a few times here. There we go. 1 US dollar equals, in fact, let's use the number 1. $0.92. Again, I could write the word euro out there, but I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to say ampersand EURO semicolon, period. In my paragraph. And you notice 1 US dollar equals 0.92, and that's the sign for a euro. All right. Finally, let's go in and check how many yen are in a dollar. And that's 111.52. So 1 US dollar equals ampersand yen, period. And you can see the symbol for yen. Okay, a couple more. We've looked at copyright already. So if I wanted to add, if I wanted to say copyright, okay, 2017, I could just say here ampersand copy hyphen 2017. And in much the same way, if I wanted to say Apple ampersand reg is a registered trademark. So let's look at those last two. So copyright $17 Apple, and there's the copyright symbol. So those are your major HTML character entities. I've given you the URL that you can look at for virtually all of them, but those are the ones you'd use most often. All right, last thing I want to do here is talk a little bit about an iframe. Okay, I'm going to put that down here. Whoops, not there. Go. All right, so what I did was I went on to YouTube and I found Meet the Press today. Okay, and under Meet the Press that you see right here, I'm going to click share, and you see that I've got a YouTube URL here. Then I'm going to click embed, and I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to grab that whole thing and I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. And then I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to paste it in. Now I'm going to break it down so you can see what's going on here. This will make what's called an iframe. It will be 560 pixels wide, 315 pixels high. The source of it will be this YouTube video right here. It will have no border on it. And if I want, I can make it go full screen. So what did that do? There it is.
Sunday, President Trump
and I can make it go full screen.
But is it possible Washington is changing?
Okay. Now, is that all that great? Though the idea behind this was to just show you what indeed an iframe was. An iframe basically allows you to embed inside of a web page. If you know what you're doing, you can almost put a web page in a web page by doing this. Now, would you want to do that? That's not the point. The point is that you could do it if you wanted to. All right, so in this very brief lecture, we're only 20 minutes about in, but in this very brief lecture, what I showed you were links, HTML entities, and iframes. What that means is I have now finished this in my list. So I'm going to come back in just a minute and talk about the audio tag and the video tag. All right, and we'll talk a little bit also about the HTML5 canvas. All right, so I'll be back with that shortly.